What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Wrenching Wrecked. It's been a minute since I posted a video. Well, I don't know when this is airing, but it's been a minute since, in my opinion, since I've posted a video. But we are up in Kenosha right now at my buddy Hill's Hot Rod Hideaway because we just bought a truck. We're not going to do the truck thing right now. I'm not showing you because I loaded up the back of the Volvo to drive up here, brought a spare battery, some extra stuff, some jumper cables, and all this other stuff. And you'll see what that is in a little bit. Loaded up a jack, air compressor to top off the tires, and kind of some fresh brake fluid. There's definitely some issues, but we got about an hour drive home. I think it should make it, fingers crossed, we'll find out. But I needed a heavy duty truck, so we got a good old trusty heavy duty truck, hopefully, and I'm going to the dark side, so you'll see what that is when we get back. But I'm leaving the spot instead of putting things together. I forgot to bring my toolbox. Brought all of my specialty things, jack, air compressor, etc., hoses, air chuck. I forgot to grab the toolbox that I literally put back together for that. So luckily we are in Kenosha, we're not too far away. There's a Harbor Freight right down the road and they're running a sale right now. So driving back over to Harbor Freight, picking up some high quality tools and get another travel box. I don't mind having extras, I need them at the shop anyway. So that is the game plan. Let me grab this and we'll meet back and throw a battery in this thing and hopefully we can get it fired up and try and mosey ourselves home without any major issues. So we'll be back in a bit. Made it to Harbor Freight. Man, rush hour commute through Kenosha is not fun, but I don't know, 6 miles away, less than that. We're 3 miles back from the bar. Truck's behind the bar appropriately. So we got the last toolbox that they had on clearance with a super coupon. So I got another, I don't know if you guys have seen that little crappy kit. It's not bad, actually, 225 piece kit for $100. So that was pretty cool. And then they had a 40% off on some of their Icon stuff, which is definitely nicer than the regular Harbor Freight stuff. I threw that in, and retail on that kit that I bought's $140. I got that, a little magnet LED light cheapo giveaway tool that they have, and knife, because I forgot my knife too, and I'm gonna need that to cut the zip ties off of this box. So all of that came out at $137 after tax, which is cheaper than retail on the toolbox itself. So hopefully with that, that should be enough stuff to get me home. We'll go over the details on the truck when we get back, but it should be pretty close. It drove there not too long ago, so fingers crossed it drives an hour home. I'm down for the adventure. We're pulling up. I'll give you guys the your first impression from the car, just like I had the other day. I looked at this the other day. It's slightly a gamble, but for what I'm getting it for, I feel like it's pretty reasonable. And I kind of need it. I'm helping a buddy out. He's got it. So it's kind of a win-win in my book. Dottie is not a fan of this one, so might be sleeping on the couch, especially if we have any breakdowns. But it's always an adventure with us. Sketchy brakes on this cannot be any worse than the van was, and that was a 3.5 hour drive with next to no brakes. So fingers crossed we did okay. Here is what we are looking at. Let's see. If you're ever in Kenosha, feel free to stop by this bar, Hill's Hot Rod Hideout. Nice little spot. Little local community bar. If you're familiar with Kenosha, there are a plethora of them, but this is a good one. This is our new toy. No tailgate, well, no actual tailgate, but we got a dually. Let's take a look. $1992 or 93, 3500. I should know the year. Little damage there, but I got a buddy of mine that's got a hood because Chevy stuff is actually available, oddly enough. Oh, check this out. Been a while since you've seen these, right? But we got cool guy gauges. Those are working. Inside's clean. Needs a vacuuming, some power washing. But we got a big block. Never had one. Excited about this. So AC truck, I know it's not working, but we'll get that all fixed and figured out. I gotta grab a battery. I brought the battery back, threw it on a charger for a couple days, but it's in pretty good shape body-wise. Very dirty. A little spit and elbow grease. Should clean right up. So let's get this thing fired up. Full of coolant. Nice clean oil and full. Chevys run these stupid side posts. Which is why I didn't bring an extra battery, because the other one doesn't fit. And a brand new Harbor Freight toolkit. Ooh, ah. It's my third one of these exact kits, but I do like them. Built 6 bikes with these out of my garage at home. Hand tool things are fine, especially if you're hobbying like me. We'll get this battery tied down in first, and then worst case, I do have jumper cables if there's not enough charge on this battery. Yeah. Even the new sockets fit tight. And what do we got here? 1/4 inchers, 5/32, 5/16, not 30 seconds. Hot lead in. We got sparks, that's a good sign. This battery was completely dead when we came out here last time. Fingers crossed, that is all we need. Leave the tools out for a minute. And we'll double top off the brake fluid. The front seemed okay. The backs were a little weak. And by that I mean that reservoir is dry. Try and fix that. This was not a surprise. Oh, you don't have brake fluid. I knew it had brake issues. But see what happens here. There's a good chance this will all disappear very quickly. However, there's also a chance it might pump up a little bit. Come on. What the hell is wrong with you? Oh. There we go. Much better. You guys want to come in the truck for this? Let's see what happens. We got lights. We got voltage. not power. Blend door or something's flapping in there, so we're gonna have to take a look at that. That's gonna drive me nuts, but 177,000 miles. Look at how clean this is. Horn works. Super clean in here for a 93. Taillight's busted up there. Rust-wise, we got a tiny bit down here on this rocker. Underneath the driver's side, that's the extent of it. Does not even go all the way, just this lower section, so we'll clean that up. Other side, I got a whammo on this mirror, West Coast trailer mirrors. But body-wise, we're in pretty good shape. Tires are shot. These are ordered. That's my biggest concern, actually, driving this back. And then we got a little bit of rust from here and here. That is the extent of it. Patch panels on this are very affordable, even if they're not the best. It's a work truck, but I do want to patch those in. And then do a scuff and paint. But we're working. We're working, we're running. Surprise, I bought a Chevy, well, GMC. Going to the dark side, like I said. But we'll let this run. We got about a quarter tank of gas, so we'll fill that up on the way. Give this some pumps. Try and build up some pressure. What happens here, and working gauges. Jump underneath and see where this thing's leaking. If it's just a rear, maybe I can pinch that off, cut it off, and then cap it or whatever. But there we go. We're gonna try and drive this thing home. I'll bring you guys along. Playing around with the brakes. The light's on. I don't know if that's that ABS module or what. It's a little soft, but they are braking. It is retaining down there, so let me yank this out. Find some mice or something.
Tell us that I can't bring the beer out here.
I know. There you go. Where'd you get that?
I really can't lose this.
What'd you do today when you got to the bar?
Drink.
And?
Won $500.
On? Yeah, came up here. We were gonna try and do it tomorrow, but we came up here. She played the pull tabs and won $500. So here's where we're at on the brake line. I found the leak right there, the lower section of that fitting. So I got some side cutters. I just kind of pinched it off. I didn't cut it all the way, but pinched that one off. So the rear is non-existent. We have an hour home. It's all farm roads. 10 minutes of actual driving and then all farm roads. But yeah, bunch of pinches on there that should slow it down, and then we'll get it back to the shop and hose it down, get all the brake fluid off, because this thing's in pretty good shape. Look at that bad. Well, filling up 80-pound rating tires with a small little baby compressor is not the most fun thing in the world, but we're getting there. I just gotta let this fill up, blast it, fill up, blast it. So it'll be about 4 cycles on that coming in. Hood's not in too bad a shape. I got hit here, I think, and that's why it all cracked, but if I care enough, maybe we'll get around to doing that, but standard GM clear coat problem, I think. But everything else seems to be doing all right. Okay, 1 hour later. All the tires are filled up. That took forever. Small little baby compressor. E-code tires. Had to basically let the tiny compressor cycle all the way up. Sorry, it's dark in here. But let the compressor cycle all the way up. Burst it with air for about 30 seconds. Let it fill up again. Burst it with air again. So It is now dark. I was really hoping to avoid having to do this in the dark, and here is the concern that I have. Don't do this. I mean, what is it, like all the roadkill and all the buy junk cars and drive them away. This tire, you're not going to be able to see anything. Right where my finger is, has a very large crack all through it. It's a dually though, so we got 4 wheels back here on the whole rear end. The other side's fine, but the inside one of this, also low on pressure, and the mount for that is completely broken off. But, oh well, if we get closer to home, I think we'll be all right. The ABS module is completely disconnected on this, which I don't need ABS. It's not raining, it's not snowing. I think we'll be all right. And we should be about good. So I'm gonna pack all this stuff up. We're gonna jump in the car and try and limp this thing home. It's dark. It's way, way, way later than I thought it was gonna be. I took my time messing around and then had to go pick up tools and stuff. So that's a bad on me. This is gonna be a sketchy, cautious drive. I might even go as far as to do hazards because that tire makes me really nervous. There is a spare. I don't have the wrench to drop the spare on that little thing, I don't think. But fingers crossed. We have an hour of country back roads, and now it is dark, so the traffic should be non-existent. Let's see how it goes. Well, I don't have tail lights. That's unfortunate. Brake lights work fine. So we'll be doing the hazards trip. Lights came back on, I think. Should be in good shape. Daddy's behind me. She hasn't called yet saying they're out, so we should be in pretty good shape there. I'm gonna fiddle around with some of these controls and see if I get any radio or anything like that too on the way. But gotta hit a gas station real quick because we're on a 8th tank. I don't know how much fuel this takes or how long this gas has been in here, but it seems to be running all right. We're holding 210 degrees of temp. I don't know how high that is. I'm hoping that won't creep up. If it creeps up higher, we'll shut it down, but that is the center of the gauge cluster. I Googled it real quick, and they said somewhere between 200 and 210 was factory. I think it's a 195 cluster, or temp thermostat. So, I'll update you when I get an update. Also, forgot about the brakes. The brakes are working fine. The rears are probably spraying brake fluid all over the road, but we'll have to hose that off when we get back because I don't want to ruin the bottom of this. But the fronts are working fine. It drives normal for how rusty these rotors were. But it's got good pressure and good pedal feel. So we'll see how this goes. I'm so nervous. Daddy's gonna kill me if this thing breaks on the way home. First fill up on gas. Jesus. Good thing we're in Wisconsin. That would have been 120 in Illinois. Got some mud wasps in here that we just shoot off. Daddy's anxiously waiting to leave. Cleaned up the windshield. Daddy's trapped in her car now. Sorry about that. Gassed up. I gotta clean the windshield a little bit better than this because it's filthy. So, just so I can see. Don't have wipers, I don't have anything else. These headlights are dull as all get up, but this car is shifting and running and driving really well. So, brakes are working way better than I anticipated. Oil pressure's good, but I'm a little concerned on the temp. As long as we can keep moving, I think we should be all right. Update. I am now a half hour from home, so we're halfway there. This truck is driving amazing. I know I'm really nervous on the tires in the back. I keep repeating myself. It's dark in here, you can't tell. But if we look at the gauge cluster, the brake light's stuck on. That's because of the non-ABS module that I disconnected, or was disconnected, still disconnected, that's fine. We're still charging-ish. I'd like that to come up a little bit, but I don't know how accurate this gauge cluster is. 30 pounds oil pressure at cruising speed. Overdrive is working great. The trans shifts flawlessly. Never driven a big block. Topped it off with gas. The temp gauge was making me nervous because that says on the high side of 210. I do have a mechanical one down here as well. And the mechanical one is maintaining right at that 200 mark. Just 190, 200 degrees. I'm gonna trust the aftermarket one more than the original gauge cluster. This hasn't really climbed anywhere past that like 210, 220 range. Obviously this one's hotter, that one's lower. I don't know where the ports are on that, but but it seems to be working. And oil pressure gauge down here is reading 50 psi, whereas this one's kind of 30 to 60 spread. So that's a little bit more accurate, and they are working and functioning the way they're supposed to. Goose the throttle. I'm very excited. I think this is a really healthy motor. I just got to get home. I know you guys can't see, so the radio does not work at all. I'm not getting any output to any speakers, so I don't know if that's hooked up. But minor details, we're going to be swapping that out for a Bluetooth thing anyway, so we'll update you guys if we blow a tire or something, but if not, we'll see you back at the shop either tonight or tomorrow. This thing is amazing. I was just looking, that's the trans temps down here, so, or oil temps, trans temps, I don't know which one. We're at 200 degrees maintaining there. Oil pressure is 25 at idle. The top one says about the same, so we're in pretty good shape on this. I gotta fix the radio for sure, because I gotta have my tunes, or I just gotta throw a speaker in here. And we're about just past halfway, so we're stopping. Daddy's gotta pee. Gonna grab a bite to eat, and then mosey this the rest of the way home. So that'll be the end of this video. We'll catch you guys on the next one tomorrow in the daylight. We made it back. We're in the chopper barn, grab the power washer. We're gonna blast this thing, see what we can get off of here. Deep clean for the first time, because she's been sitting quite a while. I already ordered some sheet metal too. I found the rockers and the cab corners for like 150 bucks. So as long as those show up in a reasonable time, we'll start chipping away at that too, but not any immediate rush. I'm not just fully focused on this. I mean, it's new, it's exciting. It's like opening up a new toy as a kid on Christmas, right? So get this thing prepped and cleaned up. We're gonna have to do tires ASAP and then get that brake line patched. I don't know how much of that's gonna get filmed. It's pretty straightforward. And then new tires, power wash, hard vacuum today. We'll just get it cleaned up, move it back over to the barn, and then figure out when I'm gonna mess around with that. Maybe I'll try and do the AC too. It's hot today. It's been fall weather all week, and now it's 95 degrees and climbing. All right, let's power wash this thing. All right, we got her all cleaned up and back at the barn now because we got a customer bike to look at. Power washed all that off. Paint is really, really thin on this section, but the body's in great shape, so you can kind of see a little bit of rocker rust down here on this side, this rocker or the cab corner back here. This one down here will get replaced. Already ordered, and I think we're gonna lose these floorboards immediately. Hopefully there's not too many holes in there. And then long term, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do on the mirrors, whether I'm gonna patch this on the door or put extended toe mirrors off the corners there. Hopefully we can get the brake line and the AC fixed today. And then I get to start working on this old thing. I believe it's a 74 with a reverse pattern shift drum in the trans. So it's up, down, down, down on this one. But It's got some oil leaks that we gotta kind of try and chase down, which is always fun when a customer wants you to fix the oil leaks on his old shovelhead. Well, not fix them, but at least make them less. So that'll be the next video or next handful of videos. We'll catch you guys on the next one.